Welcome back to the Global Goal Studio, where we're continuing this vital conversation about racial justice and the private sector. Joining me now are June Sarpong, Director of Creative Diversity at the BBC, my good friend John Rice, founder and CEO of Management Leadership for Tomorrow, James Rhee, founder and president of FirePine Group and a former CEO of Ashley Stewart, and Professor David Olusoga, historian, broadcaster, and filmmaker. Welcome to you all. This is such an important topic to discuss at any time, but especially obviously after the Black Lives Matter movement in the United States this past summer and the reverberation of that conversation globally. June Sarpong, if I may start with you, many companies rushed to make these grand public statements of support for racial justice when the Black Lives Matter movement came to a head in the summer. But are you seeing them actually deliver on those promises and fine words?
Well, I think the thing that was interesting was that, a lot of companies were quick to post black boxes and, pledge allegiance and support to BLM, but actually hadn't really cleaned up in-house first. And the difference with millennials and Gen Z is that they will call you out for it. So pretty quickly after, the customer started asking questions about what the companies were actually doing. They were asking pertinent questions like, show me your executive committee. What is the diverse makeup of your workforce? And so I think what's happening now is the sense of urgency without question has intensified. And I think the corporate world realizes that, particularly if you're a B2C business, that you can't get away with it in the same way. So I think in the next year or so, we will begin to see those changes sort of filter in. But the real issue is what happens at a leadership level. And I think we need to see real, extreme work done there.
Absolutely. James Rhee, as the former CEO of a Black and female-led company, what do you think are practical solutions for those leaders when you think about creating a racially equitable workforce?
Look, I think a lot of it is to not look at it as daunting, but to look at it as an opportunity, as a privilege to be able to address these things. It's a mindset thing. And I think the question might be is how did this Asian American private equity guy with zero experience in retail and not many Black women friends team up with millions of Black women to do what we did from 2013, 2020? We live in an era where I think, as most scientists would tell you, and look at what's on the news, like to live a life not firm in convictions about systems and to be able to suspend disbelief. So a lot of this is a mindset thing where it's a way to recreate new realities with existing systems, to bend systems in a simultaneous way. And and a shout out to my future colleagues at MIT, I think it takes a lot of nonlinear input and outputs analysis of intangibles on a contemporaneous basis. And that's what we focused on, where a lot of measurements that are not generally measured. We turned cost centers into profit centers. We turned intangibles into tangibles, liabilities into assets. And we looked at diversity and race as not as a cost center or as a burden, but it was a bonus. It was a profit generating positive bonus. And that mindset took a long time to take hold. But once it did, we changed systems.
Yep. That's a brilliant way to look at it. We are going to talk about this more, but we're going to take a short break right now. Please stay with us. You're watching the Global Goal Studio.